Hey, Don here. Okay, back with another live stream, and I'm going to work on my uh, Acer laptop. I got getting distracted because I forgot to open up my browser on my laptop, the one I use to see if my stream's working. So I'm doing that now. The browser, I did it while I was doing my intro there, and now I'm trying to get to the live streaming page and see if I'm actually up. Yeah, okay. Now if I can just make sure the sound's good, it'll be all right. Okay, good deal. Now, boy, that's I've never done one without knowing for sure that I was up. I guess I've probably done something like that before. Used to, when I first started doing it, I would check on my machine that I'm on, you know. But what I'm going to do, let's see. Okay, the Acer laptop over here, I'm going to, I installed Fedora 29 server on it yesterday, and on the SD card that I have in it right now, but it's not booting to it, and I'd forgotten that I still had the old it's broken hard drive. You can format it, you can write files to it, and then it seems fine. Then all of a sudden it'll get IO errors, in and out errors, read errors, and every time I've tried to install an operating system on it, it goes along till it's almost done, and then it fails. And so that's what it's got. It's formatted FAT32, but it does have Grub on the MBR, and I reinstalled it, and I installed a fresh Grub 2 on there, and to see if it would, and ran the make config commands to see if it would make it see that SD card, and it didn't work. And I also tried, I got out my old CDs and stuff, and I tried Super Grub Disk and Rescatux, but they're old versions, and Rescatux couldn't run because it said it sees that FSCK is installed on there, and that it can't work with that. But get a newer version, and the newer version would. So I'm gonna go to the Rescatux website. Let's get on the desktop, and I'm gonna go over there and see about. This is the last thing I did in my previous video tonight here about the red black BioStar. Let's see. I might have links to the Rescatux in here. I don't know. I don't have a lot in this new system. I do have lots and lots of bookmarks, but it's also hard to search through them. I didn't put them in my new browser because it makes it slow down and not work well. Yeah, Clonezilla, Pelican. Oh, that's a cluster. I know there was, there's another one for fixing boot systems that's even, let's see. I'll just leave it right there for now. Is the only thing I got about Grub in there? I don't even have I remember I saw how to spell it yesterday. Rescatux, and there's another one. I don't remember, so I'll just go ahead and go there. Go do a search for it. I'll go there first. Rescatux Super Grub Disk, out there together. The Super Grub Disk 2 doesn't actually fix it, but Rescatux does. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Resc app. Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of. There's another one. The main program. It is a nice wizard that helps you in your rescue task for the last few weeks. Okay. Well, I don't have a running operating system. I need a live system to boot to. Is the thing. So let's. Yeah, this looks like that's. I don't know if that's. Yeah, that's just the basically the boot screen. Okay. Boot options. Grub options. The boot fix. Okay. I think it's called Super Rescue or something. The one that I'm thinking of. This one might work, but I remember that other one was actually working a little better. Oh, I've got some of that. They're not going to be the newest maybe, but I do have some of those downloaded. Let me look on my backup drive before I. Down the old stable version. Let's see about the beta. What it can do. Check and fix file system, blank Windows passwords, change Linux passwords, regenerate sudoers file. Let's see. Super Grub Disk was a tool for fixing Grub 1. Yeah. That's the old one that's no longer, and it's depreciated. You can still get it. But I've got Grub 2. Super Grub is 2, contrary to Super Grub Disk, is not able to fix, it just gets you to boot. However, you can use it to boot into many systems and then go, you can work from there. Well, you can actually, if you can get into your system, then you can just install Grub, from within your own system or something. Reinstall it and fix it that way. I've done that before. It's actually not too hard once you learn how to do it. Well, you can do it if you're in a system with a GUI, then you can do it from the GUI even. But okay, so this is probably not. I don't think this one is quite as good anymore. Ever since Grub 2. I'm trying to see. Oh yeah, okay, December 10, 2017. Okay. Well, here's what I'm wanting. Is just. Right now, I just want a title for this. I'm going to go ahead and download it. Let's see. At least this is newer than the one I got. But before I start the download, let's go see if we actually have it already, this version. Select all tabs, bookmark. It makes me mad every time I have to do it. Because used to you just right click and say, bookmark all tabs. And I've done that all these years, and it's just crazy to have to go do that extra step. When you do it over and over and over, it is a big deal. I know it doesn't sound like a big deal. Let's see. Close other tabs. Okay, now let me go get on my backup drive. Yeah, we're making a video. Okay. Downloads. Devane, Raspberry Pi. These are, well, there's a lot of them on the, to be older though, but on the Red Black Battlestar, which is running, and I can get into it via FTP, SSH and stuff, SFTP, but I want as new a thing as I can get. Let's see, Gparted, React OS, Bitdefender. I don't guess I have any of that on here. Yeah, and I used to use another pet peeve. I used to, for years, I used Crusader to SFTP, and it does not support it anymore, which is ridiculous. I guess it got to be too hard to keep up with maintaining it working or something. It just says it won't do it at all. For a year or two there, you couldn't use the password login. You had to set up SSH keys, or well, I'll just call them that. key, pre-shared. You had to have set up keys, RSA keys. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, see, there's nothing in here about. I was thinking, what if there's. I wondered if there was anything in here about doing that anymore. But yeah, I just typed the SFTP and the IP address, but you can't do that anymore. Okay, so, boot repair disk. That's what I'm looking for. I kept thinking, surely. Boot repair disk, how old is that? From 17. Well, let's go, 64-bit ISO, okay. Now let's go to their, no, it actually fit on a CD. Let's go see if, I'll just go back to their home page. Let's see. Because that's, on my drive. I want to get to see if there's a new one. Super Grub disk. I think boot repair disk actually works better. It's easy, really easy to use, and I think it works better. Yeah. On Grub 2 anyway. Okay. There's a big old download button right there. So it's going to start. Don't know. It's a bit bigger than the other one, 708, so maybe that really is a newer version. Did it not? Oh, there it is. It's downloading. There it is. Okay, so got it. So let's close that one because we don't want. Now, select all. It's and bookmark tabs. I'll quit grappling about it. Let's see. Rescue does Rescue have a, yeah, it has an E on the end, and I didn't put one on there this time. Sometimes I think my brain thinks it has an E on the end, and sometimes my brain thinks it don't have an E on the end. Usually they call it boot repair. Let's see. Boot rescue. Let's do it that way. Okay, now the one that what I'm wondering is, do I want to put it on a CD or do I want to put it on, for this thing I could put it on a CD. I kind of hate to redo my Fedora 28. I don't know that it actually matters. Not planning on installing Fedora 28 on anything. I don't think. Okay. Oh, that's the folder. Okay, so let's do that. And then get in my download folder. There. Now, did it finish successfully? Normally, when any file I download gets scanned with automatically scanned with I don't know why I didn't do it, VTZilla. So I'm wondering if I can. Let's see. I could do it manually. Scan the link, scan current page, scan the link. Let's see what that link goes to. I don't know if that's going to the file or it wasn't showing up. says files, boot repair files. Okay, but that still may be that page that popped up saying counting down and doing all that business. Well, it says that's clean. Yeah, it's just that, but that still doesn't tell me if that's the files or not. So let's click on it. I don't want to re-download it. There we go. Now where's the? Is it doing anything? Download. Okay, it's taking me to another. Oh, here they are. Here they are right there. Different options. Let's see. Boot. Repair disk. Okay. Now, oh, there's a 32-bit and a 64-bit. Yeah, sometimes I actually want a 32-bit. Now that, I'm going to scan that link. It should scan an ISO file. And then if that's what it does, then I'll click on that 32-bit because I want it too for other times. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's supposed to be clean, I think. Okay, now I'll click 32-bit. Oh, now it's doing that thing again. Let's see why it didn't. Oh, it came up and went back down. I don't know why it did that. I thought I saw something do something. That's kind of weird. I don't like that at all. I mean, I trust the site, but I also know that a couple of times over the years, the Bane's main repository got hacked and infected with malware. So I try to scan every file I ever download, period. I can scan it with just, you see, that scans it with like 50, 60, you know, 50 to 65 scanners. You know, I like that much better. But you can't do it. You know, you can scan and once you get the file, you can't use that. You know, that's only for the browser. That's a browser add-on. So I can do it with, you know, clam AV. Let me do that. Oh, there's one that's already there. Well, it may not be actually newer though. Yeah, those are in 17. Those are 19. Let's rename those with the date. Don't think it will hurt how they work or anything. So now we're gonna have to go to advanced and go. Let's see. I should actually have something in there. Let's see. I don't want just numbers, I want the date. It's actually not too hard if you can remember. I don't see it. Okay. Let's just put whatever to manually do it. 022419, be easier. Not a prefix, a suffix. That's all I should need. Yeah, 022419. Okay. They could be. This could be. No, that's a different version because it's smaller, quite a bit. Okay, now. What happened? I thought I said move. Oh, I'm moving it to the Seagate expansion drive instead of the another folder and download. That's right. I used to keep a Linux ISOs folder in my downloads, but I deleted it by accident actually not too long ago. So it takes a while there to copy just that much over to that NTFS drive. Okay, so got all this writing on my. I wonder if my alcohol takes it off real good. That's what I'll have to do is go get some alcohol on a. Okay, now let's get that back in videos. keep thinking I might want to put it on a CD so that I always have it. You know what? I think I will, because that's something that I'm always I want to have around that I can just grab up, you know, real quick. Takes longer to burn one and all that stuff, but it'll be worth it, I think. So, let's see, how do you do that? I've done it in so long. I don't think you can just right click on it. Oh, with KRFB, I think. Let's see. Not 32-bit. Well, you could do 32-bit, but I'll go ahead and do 64-bit since I know that machine is XF burn. Do I even have KRFB on here? Looks like maybe I don't. I don't want to just put the ISO on there. I want to, you know, set it up to I don't think I have may have to do USB. KRFB. What did I say? Oh, K3B. Yeah, K3B is what I want. Let's see if I have K3B. I don't have it on here. What do I have for CD? XF burn. But that's not what I want, though. Yeah, you got to do. I got UNet booting. Let's see if UNet booting can do CDs. I can't even remember. That's the one I want if it can do it. UNet booting. Let's see. It won't run. I think I remember that now. I never have looked into it. Let's see if it'll run if I open it from over here. Sometimes that does happen. Let's see. I don't know what menu it'll be in, but whoops. Oh, well, I hit U and it came up, so it was in there. Root privileges, please enter its password. Or click ignore to continue with your current privileges. Oh. So-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. Well, let's try it again. Can't do it. I never noticed that before in this app. Let's try ignore. Let's see what happens. I'm going to do screenshots just to know it doesn't make any difference. So I can't run it unless maybe I can do it in the terminal. Let's try that. I think that's how you spell it. Ah, it worked. Okay, so let's see. Select a distribution, so you can do. You can select between different distributions, and it'll download it for you and everything. Or, and you can select a version of that distribution, or you can do an ISO. And it says USB drive or a hard disk. Oh, well, no, it doesn't do ISOs to CDs anyway. But let's see, man, I got those 2 backup drives on there. You know, I think K3B will do that. Search again. Can't believe I haven't installed I don't think I have. All it has is XF burn. Let's see. Well, rather than take forever to get DNF opened up and all that stuff, I'm going to do it in the terminal then. K3B. I think that's all there is to it. K3B. Try that. If that doesn't work, I'll have to go look in the terminal. It's funny, all the stuff I've got on this system here, and I still don't have some of my absolute favorite. Of course, I don't burn CDs hardly ever anymore. Well, let's see. Oh, I can unplug the USBs on the front of those drives. See, I've got my USB cables plugged in the back of the machine now, and it's hard to get to them. And I'm really scared to do any serious operations like writing, USB drives. I mean, it's not that super complicated, but boy, you make one mistake and you lose a backup drive, or that's worse than losing your operating system, That, and I really would like to have them to use anytime I want, like just always have that. Okay, so yeah, it's going to work, K3B, and it's going to also install the dependencies. So we're going to say Y for yes. It's not real big or anything. I thought about doing that in the Crusaders terminal, because then I could just save the output. But I'm going to save this output because that's nice and clean and exactly shows me what to do. At least assuming it works right. I went outside a while ago before. Well, I took a break after my first video messing with the red black BioStar, and I went and got my boxes down off the top shelf and everything, and I got the 2 network cards that I have. Hopefully one of them will work in the Net Pro Max if that's what I end up needing to do. And I got the well, I was going to show it, but I guess I'll leave it on that because we can see what's going on. I got a couple of heat sinks. There's one that I think is just the right size. One of them's too small. It's one that I cut in half and used half of it on my Raspberry Pi. Probably might have been okay if it was still its full size. This other one is just about the right size. It just might be a little too thick. But I could always put some cardboard in between it and the other PCI card if it's going to touch it. Oh yeah, I think I'd have to do some sanding on it to get it to. I'll have to show it. I'll show it in the actual video, but I got to thinking I don't have to drill holes and everything. I can just get some zip ties and zip tie it on there and see if it works, And if it does, and if it doesn't seem tight enough or anything, I can always, drill some holes in it, put some screws in it. But I mean, enough that I can drill some holes. Just uses the holes are already in the little board of the video card, and you just mark through to that heat sink and then drill and tap those holes with some whatever, as long as I know I have 2 small taps that might be small enough. And if I had to find some screws, of course you're talking about really a lot of time, not a hard job, but a lot of time and tediousness. That's why I didn't do it last time. That, and I wasn't sure if it would work, but since that fan burned itself up, only thing I can guess is that video card processor really gets hot, unless that fan is a real piece of crap. But I did run it for about 2 months solid, day and night, as a server. That was a good burn-in test, and it burned it up. But I mean, normally those fans, like the original fan, it lasted for 10 years or 8 years or whatever, and I used to run it all day, every day for at least 5, 6, 7 years, was my main machine. But and I was looking for that one more brand new small fan too, and I was going to bring it in. I couldn't find it. If it was in that box with my fans, I couldn't see it. So I finally decided, well, maybe it's in the house in one of these boxes, and I looked in them, and it's not in there. It could be in my toolbox and under the tray in the toolbox here in the house. But that's my next thing. If this fails, for darn sure I'll have to see what I can do about I either have to get the Net Pro Max, put a video card, get the network working. I mean, I want to get my video card fixed and back in my Red Black Battlestar so it works normally. But because now I can't even get in the GUI. But that's what I was mostly talking about just now. But then the Net Pro Max, that's what the network cards are for. One of them might work in it. Now we're done. So go ahead and copy that and put it in a file. I do kind of like having Fedora 28 on that USB stick as sort of a rescue system, because it's actually old enough that it's mature and not as many bugs as Fedora 29. I think that's generally the case. Last year's distro is usually more stable than this year's. Not always, but often it is. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. Let's see. Now, let's save it. And now I'm going to select all again when it gets done saving, that is. And make that darn text. I still have not been able to find the place to save it where I can read it. Find the place to change the default text size in LibreOffice. Alright, now this is going to be K3B. Okay, now I should, well, unless, it may not show up. Let's just see if it does. That's just 64-bit right there. Sometimes renaming these ISO files will mess them up for, actions like burning them or writing them to stuff or burning them, but most of the time it doesn't. Usually only messes them up if you're going to use them in an app like UNet Boot. There it is, K3B. Okay, it's already in there, so I don't have to even close this or anything. Oh, I didn't put a CD in there yet. But this is my favorite CD burning app. It's checking the ISO, and I may have to close it and open it again because I don't have a CD in there. Please, insert an empty medium. Okay, so I should be able to do that. This is how I always did it. So this should make a bootable, it should turn it into a bootable system. Okay, let me get a CD. Okay, now I'll be on the wireless so that not wireless lapels. They're not wireless anymore. Where? Oh yeah, they're not. I don't think they're in here. I think everything I've got in here has already been written on. Yep, looks like it. So I had to put them up here. Got a brand new cup that I got for Christmas. And it's a real nice cup. It's stainless steel. But it doesn't have a handle, and I tend to drop stuff a lot. I don't know if these are CDs or DVDs here. Get it out and see. Oh, there's that. That's one of my, I was actually wondering where that was not long ago. My old neck gear, it still works like a charm and just can't keep up with. It's just a router, no Wi-Fi or anything, 100 megabits, but it can't keep up. I think these might be DVDs. No, that's CDs. Okay, that's what I want. Put one in there. Let's throw it on the floor first. It's always a good idea. Throw things in the floor once or twice before you use them. There was dust on the case. Where's the button? Oh, okay. See if let's go back to the desktop again. Didn't open up. There we go. It's very, very close to that keyboard tray that the excuse me. That the now the program should see. So that's enough of a delay that I heard myself. Okay, unable to mount the blank. That's right. We don't want to mount it. We don't want to do anything because we already got it there. Okay, so that's good. Go. I want to verify written data, and I started to say I was simulated, but that'll just make it take too long. It is big enough, isn't it? 708 megabyte. So what is it? Sort of. I don't want to make it multi-session. I don't quite know why it doesn't have start. Oh, capacity of the is smaller than required. Huh. Oh, I guess yeah. The ISO 708 megabytes, but and it's probably, what are these? These aren't 650 megabytes, are they? And I'm wiping the dust off and getting back into that case to see. This is why I usually say I don't want to do this right now, because it always ends up taking forever. Okay, I thought these were like, they're 700 megabytes. I thought they were 750. I guess they were, yeah, I remember they used to be, there were 650 megabytes, and I guess they only went up to 700. I really thought there were some 750 megabytes. So, well, but what I might be able to do, a 32-bit version will work on a 64-bit machine to repair it, the Grub. So, what I can do then, back on here, where is the application at? Did it close itself? There we go. I think it must have followed me around the screen. 708 megabytes. Okay. So it's the easiest way with KRFB or these kind of apps is just Oh, the 32-bit's even bigger, 721 megabytes. Now this old version is last year's version. It would probably work. Let's try that one. It's 613. It might just well work. If it doesn't do the job, I know I don't have this new of a version. So it's making a hash for it. It's always a good idea when you're writing CDs to verify the written data, because you can get errors. You never know when you can get an error. I don't want multi-session. If you're going to write to it again, you would, but for a boot thing like this, sometimes they won't boot if you do that. But verify written data, simulate, just wait. It makes twice as long to do the job. So, okay, yeah, now we can do it. I'm not quite sure how long this will take. I don't know how, fast this drive is or anything. I didn't pay. It would have told me there, I think, if I'd have paid attention. But I'll just go ahead and keep using the lapel since I'm moving much. But let me see. Yeah, because I can't even run UNet booting to do a regular. See, the only other USB writing tool I have, geographic writing tool, is Fedora Media Writer, and it won't do other. I don't think it'll do. It might. We're waiting on this. Well, no. When you're writing CDs, you actually need to not do too much on the system. It can it'll mess up your write if you have a. I don't know. I guess I could just look at that app. Well, I closed the browser. Just see, it's not even showing any progress yet. It's gonna take. It could take 10 minutes plus. Sometimes they take 20 minutes. Since it's pretty much a whole CD, it might take a while. About that. Thinking it wouldn't take too long. Oh, it's writing at 40x speed right there. That's pretty fast. So at least got that. From what I remember, it's been a long time since I've burned a CD or DVD. Usually DVD, this is a DVD writer on this thing. They're usually pretty fast writers and slow readers very often. Well, especially the ones in laptops. But let it do it. Let me see. Yeah, it follows me around wherever I go, I guess. Yeah, wherever I go, it follows me. See. Fedora Media Writer. It does not do CDs, I don't think. Custom image, what I would be doing. Okay, what's the rest of the? Pull it over here, and I'm not going to make it full screen because I want to keep an eye on what's going on with my. Oh, okay, these are all the other spins, everything. See, this is a new one. I can do all the way. This is an easy way to make you a USB. I'm so used to finding the ISO I want and download it. I usually always already have the ISOs downloaded. I still forget that you can use this. This actually works really well to download whatever one you want, and you can change to 32-bit or ARM v7 or Arch 64 up there too. Or you can do custom image, which is what I would do. Oh, yeah, I moved it over to the expansion. And the 60. Actually, you could use the 32-bit. Like I said, on a 64-bit machine. Ready to write. See, and it picked the Seagate expansion 5 TB drive or the 8 TB. Of course, I mean, if I had my USB stick in there, so I guess it would work. It will work with other ones besides Fedora. I didn't think it would. But this is where you would destroy your backup drive. It's scaring me. So I'm scared to do both of those at the same time, like I said, and just ruin my CD writing. But now I'm hung up, waiting. I don't like. I mean, I still have half of that big old case of CDs, but I've always hated ruining CDs. It always bugs the living crap out of me. I don't like CD coasters. And the only thing I hate worse than CD coasters is DVD coasters, because they're a lot more expensive, or they were. Nowadays, I haven't bought any in years, so I don't know which one would be harder. You know, CDs might be a little harder to find, and they may cost more. They're either, I don't know, they either cost more or they're trying to get rid of their old stock and you can get them cheap. It depends. What stage of the game you're in. Yeah, that's still not even showing anything yet. This may be a bad idea. Well, it's not using up a bunch of resources and not showing that it's using any yet. Probably will use some when it starts actually writing. I'm not going to worry about it then. This is starting. Just usually, you know, by now you would expect to see some progress. At least the beginning of some progress. Preparing the write process. Okay. So it is working. It's not hung up or anything like that. Oh, that one, the one that's smaller, is a 64-bit. A lot of times I'll just, if there's a choice between 32 and 64-bit, I'll just go ahead and do the 32-bit because it's more versatile, you know. But I'm thinking now, I thought that it wouldn't mess up my CD writing job. I mean, writing to USB is a completely separate process from CDs, so kind of thinking I could go ahead and do a USB. Well, I can. That USB would probably be already done by now. I didn't think about that. Let's see, I'm gonna have to move this out of the way here. What I can do is, to be safe, I can unmount these. I won't hurt anything. Yeah, it should be fun. I can unmount them, and then next time I reboot, and I don't even have to unplug them. Shouldn't show up at all once I unmount them. And then I can yeah, I think I will, because that is be nice to have that CD for later, but I won't wait this long. Okay, so I'm gonna unmount the I've been accessing those. Oh, I'm up. Oh, dadgum. If I unmount the backup drive, then I won't have access to it. So I guess I'm getting over paranoid. I do have 2 copies of my backups now. That's true. Okay, so let's just do it. Just be careful. that? Oh, my sound is plugged in there. So I can plug this USB into here. Come on. Can't see it, I can only feel it, and then when I move my finger, I lose my place. What I could do, okay, there it is. I think I'll unmount the 8 terabytes so that it makes sure it can't be hurt. Now, if the only one I can make a mistake of is the 5. That was the one I was going to get it from anyway. Okay, so, and this follows me wherever I go, so I'll just stay right here. And, oh, Fedora. I should probably just uninstall it. Unit booting since it don't work. It's pretty aggravating to see it. Yeah, you've inserted the disk that contains a live system. Do you want to restore factory settings? That's their code for reformat it to FAT32, which is very confusing. Yeah, make sure. And you know what drive it is. SanDisk Cruiser Pattern, that's the one. And I do know that that's what that brand, that is the SanDisk Cruiser Pattern drive. That's of it. Even though it shows up as has 2 partitions, the U3 system and the Fedora Make Live 28. Yeah. That's the right one that I want to redo too. I don't want to redo the 29 installer. I'm going to go ahead and do it that way so I can see everything. But yeah, I'm going to be needing to use that custom image in a minute. But first we do need to restore it. Okay, to reclaim the space, a SanDisk Cruiser Pattern, 2 gigabytes. Claim all space on the drive. It has to be restored to its factory settings. Live system and all saved data will be deleted. You don't need to restore the drive if you want to write another live system to it. Well, another Fedora live system. Restore. See, this is why I get scared. That's one. Well, I mean, this. Okay, it's done. That's pretty cool. Fast. That's why I get scared though, because you are reformatting things. Okay, now I'm going to do that again so I can see the desktop. Okay, so now I need to go get my image out of the Seagate expansion drive. And I am going to go ahead and do, let's see, what do I want? 32 or the, I know this machine is a 64-bit, so I'll go with 64-bit because what if there's something that's changed that they didn't call and tell me about, they didn't email me about, and it wouldn't actually work. So I do know it's a 64-bit operating system and all that, so let's go with 64. We used to be able to, you know, interchange them. SanDisk Cruiser Pattern. Do you want to write the disk? Unless this doesn't work because it's actually, you know, set up for Fedora as a way. I've never tried it with a non-Fedora image. I think it'll work. It looks like it'll work. It didn't squawk at me. Of course, just because it don't squawk at you, don't mean doesn't always mean that it will work with all programs. So this way we can keep an eye on both processes. Looks to me like it's going to take a good long time to get that CD written. Hadn't even started showing any progress yet. Could have hung up and not be working. Oh, I see the drive. Oh no, that's I see the drive blinking, but that's the USB being written down there. It's blinking. So definitely a lot faster to rewrite a USB than it does a CD. I forgot this one. I think maybe this drive in this machine is actually quite a bit slower than my older ones I used to use. Well, you know, for doing this sort of thing. I think that red black Bilestar has a pretty fast drive. Right. Seems like I remember I would always use it for this sort of thing because of that. Could be the K3B hung up and it's not working. I remember it used to be I liked the interface. It always worked well. It didn't hang up or give trouble. But then the last couple of years I used it, you know, when I used to do more CDs a few years ago, it did hang up sometimes and act up and not work. Or not recognize the type of, you know, CD you had or whatever, or I don't know. I just remember having some trouble with it that I didn't used to have. Anyway, I won't be able to use this USB. It doesn't take all that long to do a USB, so I can always write it back to Fedora 28 or whatever. I just need to remember to, I didn't erase the label or do anything to it yet. Delete the download image. No. That. Finished. Okay, the drive will be resized to a smaller capacity if you resize it back to normal by using the Fedora Media Writer. This will remove installation media from your drive. I hope it works. It sounds like it's doing it the way it does for Fedora, and it's quite different from the way other ISO images are written by other programs. So we'll let that keep trying to work. See. I'm going to go ahead and eject that. Oh, it's still blinking like it's being accessed. Shouldn't be though. It might have been trying to mount. I don't know. It doesn't. I think it mounts. That was the, you know, it says, oh, it finally unmounted. Okay. Got me confused. See, I see that blank disk, and that is my CD drive. Okay, so we're just going to leave that and let it do its thing. And we'll get over here where we can see the laptop. Put this. This is, what is this? Boot repair disk, right? Yeah, boot repair disk. And what I put on there was a 64-bit version of boot repair disk. So, oh yeah, I got to switch over to that machine so that I can actually control it. We're on number 1 on port here. Yeah. Should be it, right? Yeah. Okay, boot it up. And everything goes well, we'll okay, there we are. Acer. Oh, okay. We're gonna have to go through some okay. 64-bit or 64-bit failsafe. It should be fine to go just okay, yeah, oh, okay. It's white when you're selected, and you would think it would be blue, but I'm doing the up and down arrows. Okay, I hit enter. Yeah, if you have trouble, like we have a video card that it can't support or something in its normal mode, then you can hit that fail safe and it'll usually work. This, I think, runs on, it's either Debian or Slacks. I'm not sure what it runs. I'll be able to tell when we get. It's always had this little background image, but see, it automatically opens up the boot repair system. It shows that there's a Wi-Fi available and it connected to the internet, the Ethernet cable. This will install the LVM2 packages you want to. Yes. It would already be in there, but enabling LVM. This may require several minutes. Oh, maybe because it saw that it doesn't put it in there because it's big, you know, and big enough to make a difference on your ISO image. So it sees that this is, you know, this is a Fedora system, uses LVM2, so it's Is this a RAID on this computer? No. Okay. Scanning the system with OS Prober. Scanning system mount. This may require several minutes. Hopefully it won't be several minutes. Oh, it's not even showing any menus. I think maybe once this little deal gets through, you may have some. There used to be other applications on here. Boot detected. Please check the option. Now then, recommended repair. Repairs most frequent problems. Create a boot info summary to get help from the forum. Advanced options. Now you may not think you're advanced, but sometimes you may actually reinstall Grub. That's what it's going to do. You could restore the MBR, but I don't. Oh well, I could do that. I'm gonna. Oh. Now I'm going to try reinstalling Grub. If that doesn't work, because that's what it's a pretty smart program. There's other things like Grub location. Oh yeah, okay, that's what I wanted to look at. Repair file system. We shouldn't need to do that. All systems are both seem to be good. Other than that, hard drive acting up sometimes. It's been fine so far. Grub location. There. Oh, okay. Separate boot partition. Okay. OS boot default. Mapper Fedora 29 server. Separate boot partition. Separate boot EFI partition. No, I don't. I'm not using. Okay, so I may have seen it all, and maybe it's going to do it right. Purge Grub before installing it. Well, it won't hurt your Grub. Grub legacy. Did extra space after MBR solves that error. Uncomment Grub VFX mode set. Solves the no signal out of range error. Pt8 disk support solves the out of disk error. Add a kernel option. Purge kernels and the last kernel. PR options, you can't do anything there. Other options, place the boot flag on. 1. Create a boot info summary to get help by email. Upload the report to Pastebin. It's all going to do all that now. STA1. Mapper Fedora 20. Huh. This is something that I'm not sure if I should try to mess with this or not. Place the boot flag on. Here's the thing. What I'm trying to do is work around. I have it boot to the Grub on the hard drive, and then it will point to my SD card. I think that it's already. I don't know what to do besides try the default. I think the smartest thing to do would be try the defaults, because it's pretty good at being automatic, and if that doesn't work, I'll have to do it again and try to figure out. I would probably, I'm not sure if I would want Mapper Fedora. You might want that. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I had to, actually try to do that, and I'm not sure which one. I didn't change anything. That I was just looking at, but I put it back like it was. So yeah, it's always good to look through this. Okay, separate boot partition. That says CBLKOP1. Oh, yeah, it's that one down there. Okay, that's what it sees. That's probably right. So since it says separate boot partition, it already picked that by default. Place Grub on SDA. Okay, this is what I was trying to do. This is the only way I can see that the BIOS can see it. Grub will be on SDA, and the separate boot partition is the MMB clay, which I know is my my SD card. So I think this is going to make it work, hopefully. Yeah, and mapper Fedora 29 server. Okay, yeah, now I get it. Looking through this can help you figure out whether or not what's going on, and if you have a little bit of an idea about what's going, or maybe you have quite a few years of experience but a foggy memory like me, then you might figure it out. I think it's going to be okay. It looks like it's going to be okay. Yeah, the MBR, it's fine, or it wouldn't, or the boot, or the FAT32. I wouldn't be able to write files to the FAT32 yesterday. That should be fine too. Okay, doing it. It may be a kind of an. It seems a bit odd of a way to do it. It's a really kind of an odd workaround, but it doesn't, like I said, that hard drive is not usable in anything, period, as far as a hard drive. But as long as it doesn't lose that in the Grub in the boot partition or the MBR, I don't know if it's going to put it in the MBR or if it'll make a little boot partition at the beginning of the drive. We can probably figure that out after it does it. Grub 1 used to be small enough to put in the MBR, if I remember right, in the master boot record, but I think Grub 2 might be. Yeah, it's not. Well, what it used to do is put part of it in the MBR and then the rest in the boot partition. And so I don't know if it still does that or not with Grub 2. But Grub 2 may only be in the boot partition, but I'm leaning towards things. But yeah, there wasn't no sense in sitting there and waiting for that CD just to get to this point. Now I'm using the newest one available, and that's better anyway, because I do have the newest Fedora available, so that's what I'm trying to fix. So. But that CD might be useful. So I'll put it in my box, in my CD case over there, and label it and put it in there. And this is definitely my. I used to always use Super Grub Disk with Grub 1, and then Rescatux when it came out, and then I kind of would alternate between them actually. I remember that. But then when Grub 2 came out, then all they would do is just, you could boot you into your system, but it wouldn't automatically repair it. And then this one came out, or I found out about it. I think it came out after those two over the years, and really automatic and really pretty accurate. It doesn't always work. I've seen it not work plenty of times, but usually a lot of them, I would say at least 90%, maybe 95% of the time I've used it, I'm able to do it. I might have to run it a couple of times and look through those advanced menus, and even if you don't understand it, you can at least just, okay, if you have to write yourself notes and say, tried this time, next time I tried that, next time I tried that, just keep trying every option until, and stay away from the super, well, I guess you do have to understand how Grub works to know which things to pick, and like, would you pick restore the MBR and all that sort of thing. Restoring the MBR is really a different thing than putting a Grub boot menu. Please enable a repository containing the Grub 2 packages software server mapper. Then try again. Oh man, I've seen this before. Please enable a repository containing Grub 2 packages software sources. Well, how am I going to do that when I can't boot into it, huh? Explain that to me, Lucy. You can get a screenshot, I think, but I can't save it. Well, we don't have to reinstall Grub necessarily. Can we do all this by just doing an update Grub? I'm going to place a boot flag on, wait, if it'll do it, we'll try it. Let's see. You have to select reinstall Grub again. Okay. Okay. MCC very long. MMCBLK0P1. If I place a boot flag on it, maybe the BIOS will. That's what I'm thinking. Purge Grub before reinstalling it. Well, I'm not planning on reinstalling it now, so that'll just go away. Okay. Now let's see. No, those selections won't matter. So it's not going to help. I can't. Grub repos have to be enabled in Fedora 29. Fedora 29 repos anyway. It had to be installed in the first place. So there's only two other options I can think of then. Either start over on my installation and make the hard drive, do a custom Grub install, do this with the installer, or take the hard drive out and see if I could get it to work that way. I'd kind of prefer that. I would prefer that, but I was thinking it wouldn't work. But now that I see this option of, the only problem I'm having now is it says it can't get to the, by scrubbing to SDK. Only problem I'm having now is, where's that selection? Place the boot flag on, oh, yeah, okay. Actually, that seems like that would be a good thing. That would be needed to make it work. But, well, I guess it doesn't if you boot, it won't, I mean, it's kind of a moot point right now because it can't run. That is exactly what I want it to do, but it can't do it. Because oh, yeah, I see. Backing everything up. Beware, though. I'll replace the battery. Well, I was thinking of backing it up to the. Well, let's see if I can back it up to the. That's the live system. Other location. What's that? There we go. Now we can. Computer 1 gig available. That's the live system. I don't think this is able to mount even that FAT32. save where that is. Run media is where Fedora puts it. See. Mount. What about media, CD-ROM, LU Ubuntu? Oh, this is using LU Ubuntu. That's what it has. So it can't mount the Fedora. It should be able to mount the boot save. Pt8. Well, that's the only one that's. Yeah, this is it. This is the about 32 drive. Well, I'm going to say, well, partition tables, MBR logs, we've been saved to boot save. Backup. Okay. Backup. Okay. There we go. Not that that's a heck of a lot of help, but that's a cool thing to figure out how to do. Okay, so I still can't take that off of there because if that was necessary, it would have been selected. Yeah, just trying to. I was thinking about just trying to put a boot flag on there and see if the BIOS would see it. But see, when you take off reinstall Grub. Oh wait, let's try that. Take off reinstall Grub and just put a boot flag on that. See if the BIOS can. Now that I've backed all that up, well, it doesn't matter. I can just reinstall everything. Probably quicker than I could figure out how to restore any of that. Well, you could restore it with this, I'm pretty sure. Upload the report to PaySpeed. Why not? Well, it did something. I don't think it putting a boot flag on that SD card will make the BIOS see. So it says it was successful. Please write on paper the following URL. I wish I could get that. I'm really not planning on going to see it, but really. Well, here's what I can do. I can definitely do this. Oh, there is no. Oh, here we go. There is some. I was going to say enter at least like a text editor. There's just no. There's no menus or anything. If I can find that. There it is. 50 gigabyte volume, documents. Very good. I was going to try to name it a little more accurately, but I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so now I'll have that link if I need it. I have needed those before. I thought I didn't need them and then wish I had them, so. Very good. Okay, now. Also, yeah, this is one of those desktops where you have to right click. What I'm doing is right clicking on the desk. Brings up a menu, which looks like you just see a white spot. Video. Of course, you couldn't read it. I know you couldn't read it anyway. I'm going to have to select logout, and then I'll do shutdown, and then I'll take out my USB. Then I'll just try booting it and see if by some crazy. Please remove the installation medium and then press enter. Looks like it's still being read, but I guess I'll do what they say. Okay. Still need to relabel this. Put it over here on the left. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and boot it back up. If that doesn't work, I guess I'll boot it up to the installer. Yeah, that would kind of tell me that taking the hard drive out wouldn't work, I guess. Yeah, same thing. Exact same error. Okay, so It's hard to shut it down. I'll try the only other idea I've got, and that's reinstalling it and making the hard drive. You know, I didn't make it part of the system. Or server. I'm ending up needing a break again. Okay. Booting up again with the Fedora's net install, server net install plugged in, USB. And I'm just going to go ahead and install Fedora 29 and use the arrow key to go up, and then I'll hit enter. If you don't, it will check the media, and then we've already been checked enough times, at least 2 or 3 times, just because I forget sometimes to do that. I'm just going to reinstall it and hopefully I'll be able to tell that the hard drive is just a storage medium that's already formatted, and leave it as it is. The only thing I ever remember working on it okay was FAT32. I've tried different. I think I even tried NTFS. I know I tried because I thought, well, if I do a Windows system and keep defragging it all the time and do fixed disk on it all the time. Actually, I guess really you could have it do FSCK automatically on every boot. That would take a little while, but and use a Linux file system like ext4. But it wouldn't. I don't think it would. From what I remember, it doesn't show to be as bad as it acts. You know, like when you do tests on it and everything. Anyway, let's get to the install. English, continue. Oh, I forgot to do the remote desktop so I could show it. Well, you know what? I'd have to reboot and do that. Would be nice. Already hit continue. I'd have to hit quit and reboot. Let's see. inst.vnc. Yeah, that's good. I think it's still working on going to the next. Doesn't actually matter. I hard shut it down. Let's get to that boot menu and edit it. Okay, now I went up to the top one, install. Well, not the very top one. The top one is the Fedora 29. That's just a label, and then install Fedora 29. Then let's see, we hit tab, and then after quiet, the last word, we hit space inst.vnc, if I remember right, and then hit enter. And you can't see it in this particular, because of me, the VGA coming off the laptop. It doesn't. It's doing like I think 800 by 600 or something. In this particular instance, it doesn't do the right size. So it should go ahead and boot into the remote desktop server. And I can go get on my main machine, log into it, and we'll show it on the desktop. I did last time. Starting installer. 1 moment, please. Say please. 1 moment, please. Let's see. Yep, it's not done yet, but it's working. Starting VNC. Okay, I think it's not quite. Oh yeah, I think it is. Yeah. 192.168.0 to 182 port 1. Okay, now get on our desktop. I'll switch mics too. Okay, now we're on the SM58. Okay, that is not going to work. I thought that was taking an awful long time. My CD did not work. It would not take that long if it was going to work. So I hit cancel and it ejected the CD, so I'll put it away. Forget about that. Maybe that's why I didn't install it. Maybe I had remembered that the app wasn't working so great anymore. OBS is kind of working things hard. Okay, now I want, it'll probably settle down in a minute. 182, wasn't it? It should be the last one I was on, yeah. Okay, and then I'll make it that way, and then, let's see, F11 does full screen. Okay, now, okay, so English for me, continue. While I'm waiting on that, I'll put my CD back in the case. There we go. So, okay, my favorite KRFB didn't work, and I don't know why. But at least I didn't waste a CD. Okay, we'll go straight for the destination. Well, let's do that first, and then we'll do everything else. No, let's start on the left and work our way. US. No, we don't want Denver time zone. We want Chicago, and I remember seeing that right in here. Chicago, done at the top left. Now, this is automatic. It'll find the closest mirror. The software selection will have to do once it gets set up. First it finds the mirrors, and then it'll show you the software you can pick. Oh, let's do the host name. Do that first. Now, last time I set up my wireless and all that, am I going to be able to do that yet? There we go. Okay. Now, I don't like just local hosts, and last time I kept going around in circles about what I should call it. I would like to be able to call it bishopco.com, but I don't think that works right, so I'll leave it local domain. Bishopco, and I was thinking I should call it Acer or something different because the Net Pro Max is also called Bishopco. But if this works, well, it can be a problem if they're both running at the same time. It can cause trouble on your network. I'll just say Bishopco Acer. I don't think that'll be too big of a deal. I'm going to go ahead and set up the network again, but I'm going to turn it off. Oh, now you can see a lot more networks. But of course I want mine. And they're all, everybody's is, used to be one on here that I think they moved away. People across the street used to leave theirs open years ago, but hardly anybody does that anymore. Anyway, trying to see. Okay, my D-Link is the one with the strongest signal. Okay, which of course is the only one I'm going to use anyway. $39 megabits. I wonder if it'll drop down and do all that strange stuff. Now, I'll tell you, one thing I don't like about laptops is if you do have your Ethernet plugged in and your Wi-Fi turned on both at the same time, it'll default back to the, it'll always want to use, your operating system will always want to use the wireless, and it'll be the slowest. It'll always be slower than 100 megabits, right? So what I did the other day, it kept going down between 52 megabits and 1 megabit, so I turned it off, but I had it configured in case I ever really did want to use it. You should be able to turn it back on in the terminals. So I'd have to go find the commands. Right now it's just sticking right at 39 megabits for some reason, but it's not varying like it did yesterday. It could have had to do with my router being tired from, streaming cameras for so long and everything. Let's go back to this. Of course, when you have like whatever you have, it never changes. It doesn't. It's not a real time. Wireless is a real time readout, but the wired is always whatever your top capable, what it's capable of at the top. And it does say configure. Is there anything else you can do? Like say make it the default. Oh, that's the whole thing, all of it. Default. Cancel. Now let's see what this one shows. I'm just curious. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So you won't have any of these this nice little GUI. That won't be there because I'm not going to be installing a graphic user interface. But I'm going to do like now it's down to 1 megabits. And that would be what it would be downloading everything through your installation. So it's configured but turned off. Okay, now, that's what I did yesterday. But it'd be there, and I wouldn't have to configure it in the command line if I actually decided I needed it. I don't know if it's doing that. I'm afraid it's doing that because the driver that Fedora 29 has just works but not right with that Wi-Fi chip. And that's also what I'm afraid, because it's an older machine, and I'm afraid that might have been what happened to my onboard Ethernet with the Net Pro Max too. Okay, now we'll do closest mirror Fedora Server Edition, so I'll have to go set up my software, but first I'm going to set up my destination. So this time, I want to select them both. See, now we've got a check mark on both of the drives, and I'm still going to do the automatic configuration because it's pretty hard to do it manually, especially, well, if you I used to have it down and I could do it manually, but now they've changed it up quite a bit, so I really couldn't now. But I do want to clear additional space because I've already got Fedora 29 on. It's only got 1023 kilobytes free, see, so I'm going to I'm going to clear additional space. And just got to be careful. I don't really want to reformat this drive. I just want to, if I don't have to anyway, I could. But I do have a few files on there that I'd like to keep. Ones I just put on there the last couple of days. Okay. So then we'll go up here to the blue button. And it'll bring us to this. Okay, so let's see. Delete all. Oh, no. That's going to do everything. I don't want that. So you can't hit delete all, and see, it says preserve, so I want to say delete. There we go. Now, that deletes everything on the 29 gigabyte, which is my SD card, and then preserve everything on the VFAT. That's what I want. Now we've got to do reclaim space. Okay, it's ready. The one thing that I'm not seeing that you used to could do, and that is tell where Grub should be installed and all that sort of thing. What I'm afraid of is going to go ahead and install Grub. Let's go in here again and see. Yeah, that's not anything about Grub. That's just the drives. So yeah, that's all good. Oh, you're going to have to do something. I'm going to say custom. Let's see what happens. I'm afraid I'm going to get in a big mess. Oh, I see. I don't want to do that. I don't want to lose my automatic setup. Oh, full disk summary and bootloader. There we go. Let's see what we're going to get. Okay. Selected disks. Oh. Huh. 2 disks. unpartitioned and info system. It won't let me select it though. Set as boot. Do not install bootloader. Oh. Set as boot device. Well, we set as boot device. It's not going to do my custom. I'm going to set this as a boot device because we know it didn't work the last time the way it did it by default. So the hard drive I'm going to set as the boot device, and then if it doesn't automatically see my Fedora 29 on the let's see. Oh, here's what we need to do. Take out I would like to make additional space available because I've already done that. Now, if I'd have done that right to start with, I wouldn't have been going in circles. That should be okay. If this was something with, if that other hard drive had important data on it, I wouldn't be, you know, I would be much more careful about what I'm doing. But it doesn't matter if it erased it or anything. But when I have, now that should, hopefully that'll set it as a boot device. It will install Grub on the hard drive, and then hopefully during the installation process it will see that the operating system is actually on the SD card, and it will point to it to boot. Hopefully. It's actually way harder when they make it simpler, when they don't tell you what's actually going on, you know. Especially if you spend all the, you know, all these years, however long it's been since 2005, learning how things work. And they've been doing that for, you know, the last, since about, they really started doing this sort of thing in, I don't know if it's 23 or 26, more like around 26, I think, Pro 26. Anyway, here's where I'm going to leave it on Fedora Server Edition. Last time I went into web server and selected what I wanted, and then I realized I couldn't get an FTP server in there, and I went back in here and I ended up doing it on Fedora, the defaults Fedora Server Edition. You can pick anything you want. You don't have to actually set up a server with this installer. That's one thing that's cool about it. The only thing that I had trouble with is the some of the things you could select actually caused it to fail right towards the end, but it didn't tell you it was going to fail. You know, some bugs in it. But I know what not to select. What was it? I don't remember what it's called, but if I saw it, I think I'd remember it. Anyway, I don't want too much. I don't have a lot of space. I want an FTP server so I can remotely, you know, copy my website over and administrate it and everything, like I just did on my Red Black BioStar. Be able to SSH into it with a remote shell. And headless virtualization, no. Basic web server, that's all I need because I don't have any dynamic websites or anything. I just need a Apache web server. So FTP, basic web server, no graphic user stuff at all. Editors, that's not, yeah. Emacs and Vi, these are text editors that'll work in the command line. And actually, Midnight Commander is the one I like. The twin panel font. I was using it in my previous video with remotely on the remote shell on the Red Black BioStar because I already knew I had Midnight Commander installed on it. But I don't think it's going to give you Midnight Commander. I have to go and install that. And I think the command is just dnf install MC, if I remember right. Something like that. You might have to look it up. I did because I was trying Midnight Commander, you know, the whole word. But anyway, it has a nice little text editor built into it that I like using just fine. It's easier than Vi or Emacs. Vi and Emacs don't work like you're used to, unless you're used to using them, those specific applications. Yeah, headless management. That way we'll have a Cockpit, the remote admin tool. That's pretty helpful too. it's a graphic setup, and it has a terminal. But like I was saying earlier today in the other, now that I've realized it's really, I never did it before much at all. So I usually used Putty if I wanted to use a remote terminal, but it doesn't have copy and paste. But you can just open up any terminal, type SSH space IP, the IP address or the host name. I just use the IP address, and then it'll ask you to log in, and you got a terminal, remote terminal. I didn't know it was that easy. I went and looked up the commands. I didn't remember. But anyway, I thought it had a bunch more commands you had to do. I'm doing this. I'm talking about other things. What's wrong with me? Okay, let's see. System tools. No, we don't need that here. Text-based internet. That can actually be quite helpful if you just need to look something up. You're really stuck on that machine, and you can't remote into it or whatever. You can actually look up. You'll just have a text-based web browser. Now that's really all I need. Let me look one more time. Getting tired. I'm going blank. I'm getting hungry too. I'm gonna have to eat. Oh, I looked over at my preview and I saw me. Oh crap! How did I manage to do that? I'm on the camera just showing my ugly old face instead of showing this whole time that I've been doing this. I was all thinking about how wonderful this was going, and I was not showing what I'm doing. I guess I'm tireder than I thought I was. So I've selected Fedora Server Edition. Of course, you missed my video the other day had the whole process. I looked through it this morning or this evening when I got up or whatever. Dang it. Okay, so anyway, all I want is the FTP server, and that's the default. It defaults to Fedora Server Edition, and if you want a web server like I want, and there's a lot of other things you can add if you wanted them, but I want the FTP. I want the basic web server that'll give me Apache, so I can just basic HTML website. And then anything to do with the GI stuff wouldn't even work unless you installed a graphic desktop. And I did do that on the Net Pro Max. Had to do it later. You can't do them all at the same time like you might think you can in here. It does not work. You have to you're only going to get what you select. And if you change this window, you'll get different selections, but you can't jump around like I swear you used to could in this older net installer, but you can't anymore. I tried it. Let's see. So editors, the Emacs and Vi I was talking about, and I was talking about Midnight Commander and all that stuff. Headless management, that'll give you cockpit remote admin tool, which is helpful. And then I don't want any of this other stuff. Text-based internet can be quite helpful. Text web browsers. You can, if you can't remote. Like if you have to just be on that server and you need to look something up, like find out commands or something, you could do that. A lot of pages may not work, but I think I haven't used one in quite a long time, but I was surprised at what pages did work. They actually pulled the text off of some pretty, complicated pages full of PHP and everything else under the sun. So anyway, that's all I want. I'm going to hit done. And all that other stuff I was doing, I was talking about it and not showing it. Sorry about that. Dang it. So, I went through the whole thing thinking I was showing it. I don't know how in the world I just skipped the step of putting the darn thing into desktop mode. Putting OBS into desktop mode, but I'm ready to install. I've got, the default was, English and US keyboard and all that, and then I changed it to Chicago for my time zone. The installation source, this is a net installer, so it goes and finds the closest mirror automatically. If that doesn't work, you have to go in there and try to find one that it can talk to. And I just did my software selections. That's what I just got through with. I set up my disk, the whole thing I was talking about. I don't want to go in there because it's kind of funky to get back out of it. It wants you to do stuff when you get in there. And then I set up my host name to what I wanted. I set up the wireless. This is a laptop, so it has wireless and wired. And then I turned it off because for some reason on this machine right now, yesterday and today, it'll just keep bouncing around between 1 megabits and, well, this time I saw 1 to 39. The other day I saw 1 to 52. So I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, I turned it off, but I wanted it configured in case I needed it. And then all I'll have to do is just find the commands to turn it back on. Because they're not going to have a desktop on this one. There's not enough room to install one, I don't think. You might could put XFCE, but I don't see any point in it unless I get hung up somehow and really need it. But I'm going to hit begin installation. Oh yeah, now I got to do my passwords. I had it. When I did it, I wrote it down somewhere. Now I don't see it. Oh, that's because I already have it out. Hang on. Well, if you heard me grunting and groaning, it's because when I went to sit, I had to get up. I was getting me a little chocolate nugget because I'm suddenly not feeling too great and just waited too long to eat. Anyway, I was sitting back down in the chair, and I got my arm twisted, the one that's hurt. It's kind of half pulled out of the socket. And, it pops and wants to come out of the socket, and boy, that hurts. And it didn't take much to get it in that situation either. So I'm going to do my root password. Okay. I have to have a drink now. Just blinks like in a weird way when you just let it sit there. And I always like to mention, I like to just spell my name with capital letter, and then it automatically sticks in my name with lowercase, and that's how I like to do my username. I don't ever like to make my regular user administrator. I only want root to be administrator, and if I want to do anything as root, you just SU in the terminal, get root privileges. Or if you're in a graphic user app, most of them that need root privileges will ask you to type in the root password. Works way better, easier, gives you than sudo, and gives you full root privileges, or almost completely full root privileges. Oh, more than you will get with sudo. Sudo, you'll go running around trying to get things done. At least you do, and I really have only used it in Ubuntu, and I never had so much trouble. It gets aggravating. And no, it's not more secure. What's more secure is the way Fedora does it with SE Linux, Security Linux, which stops anything that could really hurt your system. Most anything. I mean, you can delete your files and things if you type SU and put in your root password and then type the wrong commands. It like deletes all. There's one particular famous command everybody likes to kid around about or be mean even and try to get people to, like when they ask for help online, they'll say, run this, and it's a command that would delete every file on your system. And there is one that'll do that. But anyway, I don't know if we'd think that SE Linux would stop that and say, hey, you sure you want to do this? But I don't think it will. I've never done it, so I don't know. Did I get it? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, by the time I get that, even with the net install, it's downloading all this stuff and everything. It's not on, your install medium, your USB stick. It's downloading it, but and I have 200 megabits download, so 200 megabits down and 10 up. So that's one reason why it's pretty fast. I keep noticing, well, it sure is faster than it used to be. Yeah, it's faster than it used to be because the net install, because I've got 200 megabits down. I used to have 60. That was pretty fast until 200 came out. Well, they had 100 out for a year or two before, and I never got it because they were trying to get you to spend more money to get it. And I was, it was okay. It was fine with 60. And then one day, a few months ago, they just decided to bring everybody up to 200, and so far they haven't charged us more either. What they had been doing all these years since I've been with Charter or Spectrum now since it came to my area back in 2000, 2001, somewhere right in there, and well, every time they would raise the speed every few years or a couple of years or whatever, they would raise the price too every time. And boy, I mean, everybody hates it. Everybody I've ever talked to, and you look online, you'll see how they hate it. And some people, like my old neighbor, he would you could talk to them and kind of get a deal out of them, and they kind of quit doing that, it seems. But he would say, well, I don't need any faster than this, and he would, usually he would get some TV and internet, and, he'd say, this is what I really want, and they'd give it to him at a little bit less money than what it would cost for the little bit faster internet, or a lot faster internet, really. But anyway. And I used to do that. I used to dread it. I hated it. You'd have to usually go or basically argue with them and talk to their supervisors and everything else under the sun to get to keep from having your price just dang near double just for internet, you know. But then in the last few years, they got to where they didn't go up quite as much, and this time they didn't actually go up at all. So that was the first time, and since I've started with them, that they did something that wasn't a rip off to you. The only good thing about them is overall, I mean, they go down, you know, but usually they don't stay down like for long periods of time. Maybe an hour, 10 minutes, an hour, maybe a couple of 3 hours once in a while. And other services, when I've looked, I thought about changing, you know, when I was tired of them over the years, when they'd go up on price and stuff. The other services, the biggest problem is they'd be down for 3 days or even a week, some of them. And years ago, there was, when wireless internet was really, they were really trying to go over, you know, they were doing it. AT&T started doing it, and there was another local company that was doing it. It was back then, well, let's just say, I don't remember, probably, I think we had 10 megabits down and like 2 up or 1 up or something. Well, the wireless company was doing 10 up and 10 down, and that was just what was perfect for me, and I was about to do it because I was running or wanting, I don't know if I was already running my web server or if I just wanted to at the time. With my website, and couldn't do it because I didn't have enough upload speed. But it was going to cost too much installation fees, you know, to get the radio and all that stuff to put on your house to send and receive radio, you know. And then not long after that, I started finding out that the people weren't managing the company well. They weren't paying their rent on their radios on the towers. You have to, you know, their radios they have to rent space on big towers with, you know, with big TVs or radio companies or whoever owns the tower, you know, or AT&T or whoever the heck it is. GTE is who it used to be around here back before they got bought out. I guess it's AT&T now, isn't it? But anyway, that company went bankrupt. So I was glad I didn't go with them after that. All that happened. And AT&T, around not long after that company showed up, they started doing it, and I had a neighbor down the street that had it. And I didn't know them very well. I asked them once how they liked it. They said it worked good when it worked, is what I basically remember, and they had trouble with it. But what I think really happened with that kind of wireless internet that they had back then was that they didn't, the encryption technology for wireless hadn't been figured out yet. And so it was easy for people that knew how to do it and bought the equipment to tap into it and use it for free. And I think that was why they quit doing it. Because it wasn't all that undependable. I saw a lot of it up in town. People were using it left and right up in town. It's apartments and stuff like that. But and it's a heck of a lot cheaper to install for the companies because they don't have to run actual wires everywhere. Cable companies already had their coax cable run all over the country, so all they had to do is just, it used to be analog signal, so they were limited on how much bandwidth they could run. But once they went to a digital signal over the same, they did have to upgrade the equipment and replace some wiring, but our wiring to the pole is the same wiring that we've always had before they went digital. And there was some growing pains there. They had things not working well. Every time they upgrade, there's always some growing pains. But now the 200 megabits, for instance, is doing well. It was fluctuating a lot and sometimes going down and stuff for about a month or two, a couple of months. But now it's doing pretty good. And excuse me. guess I'm gonna have to. I guess after not talking really for 2 weeks, when I wasn't feeling good and not working on making videos or working on anything, I talked. Was it yesterday? Well, I made 6 or 6.5 hours of videos yesterday. I think I wore out my voice yesterday. So now, after just an hour today, I was already having trouble. This will be my second cough drop. I do not know what their deal is with hot dogs. I've had that hot dog man on Fedora's installer for as long as I can remember. And I don't see it anywhere else. I don't know what the heck it has to do with anything. It's getting close. That's the reason I'm not, see, it's 670. It's going fast, I can't read it, but it's about less than 100 apps left. That still doesn't mean it'll be finished, because I remember the last time it still has to do some more stuff. Well, it'll install Grub and other things. But this is where I think I went and took a break yesterday because I was down for a break. I may have to do it again today. I was debating about shutting the video down and turning, and then turning it back on whenever I got back from my break. It's so close, though. I think I won't. I also want to get. I know I don't have. If I don't hurry up and get my alcohol and wipe this writing off of this one that says Fedora 28 mate, I will forget that that's not what's in there anymore. Okay. Oh yeah, now it's done installing and it's configuring the kernel core. And last time that took probably 10 or 15 minutes. Might have been 20 minutes. I'm not sure. No, it wasn't that long. I think it was about 10 to 15 minutes. I went and took my break and it was done when I got back. But I sat there waiting and waiting before I did that. So I really do need a break. And so I think I will take it. I hate to not be there, but I think it's better sometimes to do that than to stop and start the video when it's a live video. Okay, so I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Okay, I'm here, but it's still where it was when I left. Get my lapel mic back on. Whoops. Lapel mics. I have a dual lapel mic set up now. It does sound better than the than the old one. That I think the cable was beginning to wear out on it. I haven't messed with it. I think that's all it is, and I could probably fix it, but I don't know if it's the mic's actually better quality here on this one, or if it's just hurt my shoulder. Tried to reach. I gotta get up and wire this to my pants, so I'll yank on it. Now I forgot what I was saying, but yeah, I had to hook up my cable to my belt loop so that, you know, when I move around it won't. This is a 16-foot cable on this dual lapel, and so I can still walk around pretty much most of my room, at least, with, you know, my lapels on. And actually, we're using the compressor and noise gate built into OBS Studio. I'm getting better sound than I was. That's another reason why I'm getting better sound. Like I noticed yesterday, I was coughing a bunch, and it wasn't near as loud and horrible as it used to be on the other lapel when I had it plugged into the phone 3 and being wirelessly to the computer. And I'm going to clean this while I'm talking here. Yeah, it wasn't as bad. I can't even do something and talk at the same time. Went completely blank. Okay, so I'm just going to clean this. Clean my USB stick. Alcohol. I don't know why I didn't try this years ago. Why? Regular rubbing alcohol will just instantly clean off Sharpie markers, either the name brand or the off brand. I've got some of both now from the USB stick. Probably most anything, I would imagine. Well, of course, if it was cloth, that might be a whole different thing. It'd smear all over the cloth. But something like that, little USB stick or whatever, plastic stuff. See, they have white sides on them that you can write on. And I used to use an eraser to get it off. What I'm doing is I'm laying it down on the keyboard tray and just rubbing the stick over it. It seems to be easier that way. But and of course the alcohol, good thing about the alcohol is it's just going to evaporate. It shouldn't. That actual alcohol is what you use to clean electronics with anyway. I think it's denatured alcohol, but that's in the spray cans of electronics cleaner. I don't think it's isopropyl alcohol. Might be, but anyway. And once you're done, get the clean side and clean your keyboard tray. There we go. And I'm wearing. I have my little. I always wear. I keep one natural glove for cleaning my glasses because that glass. Oh, it's finished. My glasses cleaner. Makes my hands crack and bleed. So the Windex and this other one I've got now, I've got one called 7th generation, odd name, but it seems to work a little better than Windex and not smell as bad. Okay, so here's the thing. It says, you know, the only choice here is reboot, but if you reboot, then it's just going to reboot to the USB stick unless you hurry. I don't like just yanking it out. Well, you know, if it's blinking, it's probably being red, and so I don't like yanking it out during that time. And I could just hard. I think it's probably better though to click. I don't think it would hurt to just hard shut it down, but it might. So I'm going to hit reboot. Of course, that's a remote connection that's gone now. But get on the camera. Okay, it wasn't blinking, so I went ahead and hurried up and yanked it out. It was black. The screen was black. Okay. So yeah, my markers don't stay real good. I don't know if how well you can see that, but that one's the one that's got the Fedora 29. Yeah, especially when I can't get in the right place. Fedora 29 that I just used. Okay, it didn't reboot yet. You see how I yanked it out at the wrong time and made it crash the rebooting, I think. It's still green, so it's still on, but it's nothing coming up. Oh, dummy. You didn't switch to 1. See, that wasn't... Oh, it just didn't work. So I'm still in the same trouble I was in before. Oh, we're in Grub rescue mode this time. Normally, it just goes into a mode where you can't do anything. Entering a rescue mode. No such device. So it didn't work. Let's see, can I remember those Grub commands? Let's see. Well, Grub rescue mode is not the same as... you can't do any DNF installs or anything in there. I'll try it just to see. Oh no, it's Grub. Oh, Grub config. Can't remember. How do you do that? Let's see. Grub. Can't remember how. K-Man? Ah. Grub 2. Oh, it's Grub 2. Grub 2 install. Let's see. Oh, I think it's Man K. No. Maybe it's Man K Grub 2. I can't remember. Okay. I just did this yesterday. Why can't I remember this? Oh, because this is just the Grub menu. Yeah. This is Grub Rescue, not Fedora Rescue. Okay. So you're not going to be able to do any work, any real installations or anything. I don't know. Only thing I know you can do is change the boot commands. And I don't know the letters of that drive or how to type it in there anyway. See if reboot works. Even the reboot command doesn't Okay, so let's get that trusty little USB that I just got through cleaning up. Put it in there. Hard shut it down. Put it back up. And we'll, yeah, we'll just let it, excuse me. Okay, we'll go back into the rescue. Oh yeah, you can't do any installations because it had that weird Fedora 29 thing. Told you to put the, I don't think it'll work. I'll try it. I've already started. It's really getting aggravating. Guess I could try that other Super Grub disk, or not Super Grub disk, whatever it is, the other one that I downloaded. I guess I'd have to put it on this same USB stick. I'd really like to keep this USB stick ready to go. This will install the LVM2 packages. That part worked. I guess it wouldn't get past that if you didn't have a network connection. Either that or they're actually on the USB stick. They're just zipped into a, you know, archive file. No raid. Okay. Oh, my shoulder sure is hurting today. Every time I move just wrong, it kills me. And that's the oddest background image with the person all blacked out and like in a silhouette, and the odd little shoes, kind of like, it looks like girl shoes. But I think one time I went and found that original image on their website or somewhere and saw it was a guy and stuff, but because I was so curious about it. Okay, boot detected. Please check the boot options. Okay. Create a boot info summary. I'm going to go ahead and look at the advanced options again. I think it's going to be exactly the same as before. That's what I'm going to explain. Yeah, MMCB LK0P1. Okay, and purge, grub, and reinstall it. Place the boot flag on. Seems to me that I already tried that and that didn't help. So it won't be of any. I'm just going to try that and what it wants to do. And I'm pretty sure it's just going to say it can't. You need to turn on or set up the Fedora 29 Grub repositories. See. I guess the whole problem here is, well, I don't know what the problem is because it does see my SD card. I'm going to say because, you know, I'm trying to do it in a weird way. Oh yeah, there is the one other thing I could try, and that's just flat taking that hard drive out of there. Getting tired. I don't want to start again. It doesn't take real long, but I'm getting tired and really hungry. So if I do that, I don't think it'll work. I don't think that the BIOS can see it. I won't know for sure without trying. Now that I've come, you know, it's one of those things where you don't want to keep fiddling around with something you don't think will work, but once you've come so far, you don't. I don't want to give up until I succeed. If I still have more ideas, I want to keep trying. And I've learned over my lifetime that just when you think it's hopeless, you try it a couple more times and it'll work finally. Most of the time. Usually something comes to you, or you do some research and you find something, you know. But I just realized that since this is a dual screen, that's why there wasn't any menus or anything in this thing. And it just so happens that this desktop is one of those you can right click on and get a menu. But yeah, this is the primary display. Usually when it's a laptop, it usually always defaults to the laptop display, and then your monitor, if you got it plugged in, is the secondary, and it doesn't have the menus in it unless you go and, although I don't see any menus in the other one either. I'm looking, and there should be some at the top, side, and I don't see any. Maybe this one actually doesn't have any. Some desktops don't. Some people just like that. I don't like that. I don't want to have to right click every time I want a menu. And for some reason, I like them being I like them put in a place where I like them and stay in that place. Always be in the same place. But I don't know why it takes a good while to finally turn around. I mean, it may not do it this time. Who knows? But such a good while to finally go and turn around and say, can't do it because of the repos. Please install. I think it said please install, or anyway, basically it's not installing. It's editing the repo list config file wherever it is in the system. I don't even remember where it is, but I have once or twice actually successfully edited one of those and got a repository. Okay, here we go. Please enable repository containing the Grub 2 packages and the software sources of Fedora 29, server mapper Fedora Bishop Acer root, and then try again. Okay, not going to work. Okay, so there's no use in saving any of this or doing anything else. It just ain't gonna work. Quit. Operation aborted. Yeah, and there's nothing over there on the laptop at all. It's just like this one. But you can right click and you can get what is available on here. Calculator, terminal, file manager. I think the problem here is this, that could be, there's actually more apps in here than I thought. Open box, configuration manager, reconfigure open box. The desktop is open box. I thought open box was only a terminal outfit. Let's open up this terminal and SU password. It's not like Fedora's. Yeah, this is Ubuntu, so it's going to do sudo. See if blank password will work. Nope. See if sudo will work. Yeah, you can do sudo, but I bet it won't work. So that means I couldn't even I just want to see what will happen. Grub 2 install. Maybe it's the other way around. Install Grub 2. Well, this isn't a Ubuntu system, so maybe it's apt get install Grub 2. It's already installed, so there's no point in that. Oh, Grub, it was. I think it's longer than config. I think it's longer than just config. Let's see if is there a web browser on here? There's no web browser? I can't go look up the command. Torrent webcam, but no web browser. Internet. No web browser. Oh, yeah, there is. It's just different. Okay. Let's put that right there and that right there. That little black silhouette actually bothers me. It's really distracting for me to try to look at things. So I'll do it like that for now. Grub 2 commands. Now I'm going to have to make it full screen so I can read it. Grub manual. I held down control to open up a new tab to open up a whole new window. Let's see. This is the Grub 2 manual. That's cool. See if we can find yeah, make config, that's what it is. There it is. Invoking grub make config. There it is. There we go. The program grub make config generates creating file for grub. Okay. Grub make config boot grub config grub. Well, I'm going to try that command. I don't know if it'll work. We'll try it. I can't. It won't let you copy. What the heck kind of web browser is this? I don't think it's the website. I'm almost certain it's not. I think it's this web browser. What is this? NetSurf 3.6. Never even heard of that. But I can't. Wow. Actually, grub-mkconfig. That's what I did last time, and it actually said it was going to work. I'm going to close that extra page. I think I need it. Okay, now I can look at it. Grub. Oh, it doesn't say grub 2. Let's just try grub mkconfig. This could be grub 1. Then grub make config. See what happens. You must run this as root. Sudo grub make config. User bin grub pro failed to get canonical path of cow. Okay. Grub 2 make config. Not found. Okay, so you don't use grub 2 in that. Well, I was doing a whole lot better with the Fedora 28 live system when I was doing this before, and it didn't work. So there's nothing here that's going to help me. Shut down. I already tried. I mean, I went through it and removed the installation. Press enter. And it'll shut down. Okay, so back over here. look in my, yeah, okay, I'm still right. Okay, this is boot repair disk, but I also do have, what did I do with it? Did I ever get it out of the, I guess I never got it out of the regular downloads folder. Oh, yes I did. Didn't I? Oh, I guess I never did download it because I thought I didn't need it. That's what I did. Okay. Bane. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and open up Firefox and go back to that page that I guess I'll go ahead and plug this in. Well, at least now I know that I can use Fedora Media Writer to write any other kind of ISO that I want. If I can write a, the mouse quit responding for a minute there. I guess it was just doing quite a bit. Cancel because it was mounting that. Okay, U3 system, yeah, boot repair disk. Okay. Now, I started to download that and I thought, oh, I don't think I'm going to be needing it. Get into my bookmarks and I can get back there pretty quick. Is this system getting tired or something? Let's see. I already tried boot Rescatux. That's it. Rescatux beta. The other one, let's see. Where's my... One of them was, I thought had the download link pretty easy to find, but I don't know. There it is. Wonder if I was just not paying attention. Oh, I see. There's a download. Yeah, there's downloads all over the place. Oh, take me to the same place. $640 megabytes. So I should be able to put it. Oh well, I'm not going to try to put it on a CD this time. Oh, it's been removed from Rescatux. Many people somehow are using boot repair by default inside Rescatux while we don't support it. If you feel Rescap does not cover all the boot repair functionality, you can file a bug for Rescap and are now installed from a repo. It should be virtually identical to the 041B release. If something doesn't work as well as before, please report it. So I don't want Rescatux. Why they call it Rescatux then if it don't rescue anymore? This is one of those sites. Anybody that works with the Bang makes the hardest to follow and read sites. I don't know why. Okay. I don't know I've got off to here. Okay, Rescatux. Rescap. It's a nice wizard that will guide you through. Okay. 51 has been released. Rescue and Super Grub Disk. Yeah, this one. That was one cool thing about this one. It helped. You could fix Windows. I used it to fix Windows systems before. Matter of fact, I used it more for that than I did for Linux, because that was what would get broke the most often was Windows. And Super Grub Disk, I think it would fix Windows too, but not Super Grub Disk 2. It won't fix it, just you can just boot into a system. Now it might boot me into that maybe. And if it did, then I might be able to but usually I've really kind of already tried all that. I used it's the wrong one. I don't want it in that folder. I want it in the other one. There. Yeah, I just remembered I tried to use the older version and it said you needed the newer version. So I don't see the download on here. Is that it? No. There it is. Download stable super download beta Super Grub Disk. Download latest or stable or beta. It's like an endless circle. There it is. Thought it was going to be another one of those. Yeah. I think that's it. Okay, this is an actual download one. There's more on there, but I think they were older versions. Okay, now this I'm going ahead and try to get them both because looks like I will have to burn them separately to figure out which one I really want to use. Super Grub Disk, I have seen it where it would boot me into something and then I could work on it from within that operating system sometimes. But this is a command line system, so it really wouldn't be of much help. It's better. It's easier to fix it from a live system, like I tried to do with Fedora 28. I installed Grub on the hard drive, but then it still didn't see the SD card and get it to boot to it. 640 on this one's only 19. Yeah, it's really small. I forgot about that. 19. That's why it's nice to put these things on multi-boot rescue systems and leave them there, like easy to boot or something. Let's see. See if I can. No, you can't just hit back. Oh, this time I got my scans, at least on this one. I don't know why it didn't work last time. That was the ISO, and it was good. Okay, now what's the other one? I think that'll be the page. Probably the other one I let it, or I probably might have closed like that did last time. This will probably be the scan on the page. Sometimes they don't, you got to reload them to get them to finish scanning. If they don't show some progress, yeah, see, that's the page. But it's all good. So this is Super Grub. It's only 19 megabytes. And yeah, Super Grub disk. I've used it lots of times. If it booted me into it, then I would at least know that it could be booted into. Well, I didn't install Grub on it this time. Installed it on the hard drive, so it doesn't have Grub on there. It won't boot. And I couldn't do it. I tried to do it a minute ago. Okay, so that won't work. Oh, you do. With this, you probably. I don't know if you actually have to have Grub. Yeah, you don't have to have Grub installed to use this one. Okay. Is this one done yet? Yeah, it's done. Rescatux. Okay, Rescatux. This one, it's confusing me because it said. They took out the fixing part, Rescap, they took it out or something. So I didn't understand that. I guess you could go install Rescap or something. Yeah, Rescap. So it doesn't make sense. Okay. Let's see. I just wanted to get those words and have them spelled right. Okay. Now that. Make a directory. Actually, let's make it in here. No, yeah. You remember. Whenever I wanted to unmount the. It is finished downloading, isn't it? Oops, closed it. Well, it was. I looked. It's not growing in size, so. So now if I wanted to unmount it, the backup drive, I could, and still have this available. Yeah, Super Grub disk is only 19.6 megabytes. And let's see, Rescatux. It's the only one that might actually boot me. Okay, so where is it? Oh, I plugged it in. Okay, so yeah. I'll leave that so that I can still use it as I need to. As long as I'm careful. Okay, Fedora Media Writer. I'm glad it's working. It had not been working at one time. Let's see. The SanDisk already contains a live system. Do you want to restore the factory settings? Yes. SanDisk. Make sure it's the right drive. The SanDisk cruiser pattern. That's why I like to unmount those other drives a lot of times. Okay. Custom image. I want this time I want Super Grub disk, I think. Wait. Let's try Rescatux because if it can install Grub for me where I want it, then that's what I actually want. It's not going to do a lot of good just to boot into it. Okay, Rescatux. SanDisk cruiser pattern. It did pick the right drive, which is good. Okay. One good thing I guess about that other Seagate backup drive, that one there being NTFS, it doesn't want to use NTFS. These apps don't, so it doesn't pick it. So SanDisk cruiser pattern, right? So, when that gets done, I'm going to boot it up to it and see if it can help me out. The one thing that I keep saying I don't think it'll work might be the thing that'll work, and that's taking that hard drive out and just installing it without that hard drive in there. And then, but see, the first time I installed it, the hard drive was in there, but I left it out of the setup. So it installed it to the SD card. It made Grub on it. You know, it should have flagged that SD card as a boot device, but I think but the BIOS didn't see it. That's why I keep thinking it wouldn't work. But then again, I have this. I swear I have this memory of some system. I thought it was this one. It would boot to an SD card if there was no hard drive in it, but if there was a hard drive in it, it wouldn't. So I guess I should try it if this doesn't work. But I don't guess I'll do it today because now I'm just getting really tired and I'm starving to death. But I want to try this first before I quit. I ate my little chocolate thing. It helped for a little while, but it's already going away. And my cough drops, they do help because they have some sugar in them. Pretty sweet. Okay, do not delete the image. That's the weirdest thing to even ask. I guess it makes some sense, you know, you save space and all that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and eject it. Usually when I write something like that, I usually always unplug it and plug it back in and make sure it has the files it's supposed to have and all that, but it takes more time. So let's see. Oh, switch to the camera. I was fixing to switch to the other machine. Switch to the camera. Now we'll switch to it. Okay, we're booting up. See, yeah, I'm on the right machine. There we go. There we go. Rescatux AMD 64. It also has 586 on there. Okay, well, I want AMD 64. And it would boot in 48 seconds, but I'm going to go ahead and hit enter and let it boot. And the IO errors, a lot of these live distros give IO errors to have SRO, which is the DVD drive. There's nothing in the DVD drive, so it does that. For a long time, I was not connecting my brain with what was going on there. I thought there was something not quite right with the hard drives or something. Get back to our little screen that we had before, but at least they're good at, oh, I see a little login deal. Let's see if it's going to do it automatically. At least they, oh, it's, yeah, it's, I see some, oh, there's more menus, English, United States. So usually, most of the time they log in automatically, and if you interrupt them, sometimes it even messes them up, so always try to wait. At least there is one there, because if it was over there on the laptop screen, I wouldn't be able to see it. I wouldn't even know it was there. I guess when I click login, maybe it'll do it. I didn't see anything that looked like it was counting down or anything. There we go. Okay, this is, yeah, I'm really quite used to this one. Okay. Alright. Boot info script. Easy. Junior Linux boot fix. Change EF5 bootloader create. Okay. Oh, boot. Okay. Easy Junior Linux boot fix. Restore Grub to the MBR. Update Grub menus. Boot. I'm going to click the one that says easy boot fix and run it. Blinking like crazy. There we go. Ah, yeah, now we're seeing everything. Okay. Which partition? Select the partition. MC. I think it was cannot mount. Windows data other. No file system. Huh. Windows data other, no file system. No file system. No file system. FAT32. They all say no file system. Oh, it can't see it because it's an LVM and all that. Here's the thing though. I remember it being, I think it was OP1, what showed up in the other, but there's an MMC BLKO as well. There's an MMC BLKO and then BLKO P1, BLKO P2. So, well, this is where we're gonna install Grub, so I think it might be the O, because OP1 is what we want to boot to. It says Windows data other there though, but it's not. It's an LVM2. So the O should be the boot partition, I think. Alright, we're going to try that. Now then, which disk to install Grub on? The SDA. Okay, now, oh, okay, yeah, because SDB is the 1.9 gigabyte. That's my USB. Okay, so that's easy. Alright, now, it brought this up. Order the hard disk according to boot. Okay, that is already the way we want it. It's trying to include this USB stick. I hope that USB stick is not what I selected. Yeah, devices order skipped, not an EUFI system. Okay, yes, we knew that. File system check with automatic fix went wrong. Okay. Okay, configuration update. Grub configuration update went wrong. Grub was not installed. Something went wrong. Oh. Easy boot fix partition update. Grub menu restore Grub into MBR and other UFI was not fully completed. Something went wrong. So whatever we did have is even worse. Okay. I'm going to try. Let's get this big enough where I can see it. See, Grub fix. Grub. Easy Grub fix there. Restore Grub. Check BIOS scrub partition on GPT. That would, GPT, I think it's a Windows thing. Yeah. Update Grub menus. Try. Let's see. Update Grub menus. Let's see what that does here. Might have broken it trying to fix it is a thing. Lupo Debane. No. Okay. Cancel. Grub went wrong. Yes, because I canceled it. Restore Grub. Let's try restore Grub this time. Debane. I think there is. Oh, which dish you want to install Grub? SDA. Okay. Yes. Okay. Something went wrong. Okay. Check BIOS partition. Okay. I'm going to try the. I think it's the same exact thing. There's two places where it says easy restore Grub. We'll try it from the other spot this time. Sure is weird all that blinking when this thing is working. It might be something funky in the video driver. It might work better with the fail-safe video driver or something. This one has like a more of a regular desktop. I know what this desktop is and I can't think of it. Doesn't have a whole lot of extra apps, but oh, it has Gparted. Yeah, and this is the Debane base it's running on. Oh, here we go. Okay, so I already tried MCBK1. Windows Data Other. Well, I do know that was the one that showed up as it having Fedora 29 on it. So I tried the MMCBKLKO. Let's try OP1. That is the one I remember. SRO, SDA1. They keep saying Windows. Some say cannot mount and some say Windows Data Other. Doesn't make sense. And then on down there, the Debane live system I'm running on. SDA1, SDB1. Okay, so actually, yeah, I want Grub. I never did get Grub installed on this. And it's fine to have Grub on 2 drives. That's just fine. The first one can point to the second one. Okay, and then hard disk Grub on. Well, I only have either the USB or the SDA, so we'll do that again. Order the disks. SDA. Okay. Yeah, we don't have UEFI. Went wrong. So we can't do it. Okay. Went wrong. Well, I don't know what all that was about on the website about taking the rescue, the Grub rescue app out of it because it opened up when I started this thing. Rescap. I think that's what that's what we just tried and didn't get anywhere. So, is one other thing I did see I might want to try. Restore Grub, update Grub, check BIOS partition on GPT. I don't think this has a GPT. We'll try it and see. File system, yeah, you can check fixes file system with this. So running, when I had to find the commands, it was a previous video, I think, today. Earlier video, yeah, on the Red Black BIOS Star, you could use this to do that. Password, change Linux password, blank the Windows password. There's a lot of cool things this thing can do. Restore Windows MVR, easy Windows admin, blank Windows password. Do a lot of cool stuff. Then there's Departed, PhotoRec Test Disk, which can restore lost partitions on a hard drive. And maybe on a SD or USB flash memory too. I'm just going to say check BIOS. See. Oh, okay. It's not going to see the. I don't know that it's. Well, it does see the BIOS partition. Grub partition was not found. Yeah, in BIOS there wouldn't be. Okay. From what I remember, GPT is just something that newer Windows 7 and up, I think, uses. Or, well, I haven't. Well, yeah, no, I did. So Windows 10, I actually have installed Windows 10 a couple of times, helped do it or done it for somebody, but I didn't ever use the system at all. I just found the ISO and helped them get it installed. First time, well, it broke twice. That's why they had a system with Windows 10 that broke on them twice. But yeah, none of this is going to help me. Doesn't look like. So, log out, shut down. That's all right if it, I mean, it's got a lot of nice tools on there. More tools than the other one, I think. Although the other one I remember sometimes would work with, I guess, with a normal hard drive, it'll work sometimes real easily when this one wouldn't. But it could have been because I kept using an old version of this one too. So I'll just start it back up just to see, make sure it's still making that error, or see if it gets a different error this time. What did I did to it? Yeah, it's the same as it was. It is different now. See, Grub Core Kernel FSC 120 unknown file system. I think what it is it's looking at the FAT32 file system and it doesn't know what to do with it. It's not looking at my SD card. So, I guess, sometimes, researching and reading and doing like what I've just been doing sometimes takes longer than just reinstalling and trying it a different way. But I'm not going to do it now because I'm just too tired. And I think I'll just take my SD card back out of there like I did, because sometimes I change my mind about what I want to do. And or things happen that change my mind for me. So, no luck on that again today. That's pretty much the best tools I know of for fixing boots and everything, and trying to do that. Trying to work around. I don't know why it can't. Those apps don't just see that SD card and just point right to it. Well, one of them did, but it could. That's what's crazy is that the first one, the one before this one, whatever, boot repair disk, I think it is, or whatever. It saw it, and it tried to do it, but then it said a weird error message about please enable, I've seen that before too, and I never have understood what in the world's going on with that. Please enable those. I think one time I followed, went to followed the suggestions on the site, and I think it had you run some commands and stuff. But you can't, on a Ubuntu or a Debian system, I don't even think if you can, it's complicated to be able to mount that LVM2, and I'm not even sure if you can do it. I know they won't do it by default. I never have with LVM or LVM2. So I guess that's the biggest problem is the new LVM2. All it has is, let's see, it has, I started to say I'll poke it into this system and look, but there's no point in me being this tired. See what could be read. I mean, in Fedora, it's going to be able to read it and mount it and everything. But I can look at it and, depart it and all that stuff. What I was trying to remember is, I can't remember if the boot partition is inside that LVM or if it's separate. But I know the root, the home, the other one, I can't think of what it's called all of a sudden. They're all inside that LVM too. So anyway, I suspect that the one that was the Debian and the Ubuntu is a remix of Debian. That's what it is. It's based on Debian. So Debian cannot mount those LVMs, and so that's probably the problem. But it's really odd, that message saying, "Please enable the Fedora 29 repos with the Grub 2," and all that stuff. How can you do that? You're trying to fix this. If you can't get into the system, then how are you going to enable those repos? You can't even, I can't even get into a command line of the system. I can't get to it at all. So, well, of course, that's not normal, because normally you're on a hard drive or maybe an SSD, but something that the BIOS would see and let you boot up at least to a command line or something like a rescue command line or something. It's just not. Just not doing it. So, like I said, though, I really swear I saw, maybe it wasn't even this laptop, maybe it was the Dell 1525. I swear I've seen a laptop boot to a regular SD card. I think I used like a live system or something. So, I guess I should just do that. I should just take the hard drive out next time, try installing it without the hard drive in there at all, and then maybe it will set that thing as the boot flag on it automatically. It should, and then maybe the BIOS would see it without the hard drive in there. Maybe if there's a hard drive in there, it doesn't look any further for other than like the the CD and stuff like that. USB and CD. I don't know. You would think it would go, if there's an SD card in there that was bootable, it would see it, since it sees USB and all that. But I guess it doesn't. Okay, so I'm going to go. I'm starving. Starving Dawn. So, that'll be it for today. Did lots of work and got nowhere, but that's how it goes sometimes. Okay, bye-bye.